Hi, everyone. Please let me know when you have joined. So I want to keep this introduction page up so that everybody joins first.
All right.
Are we good? Everyone's in? All right. Okay, so we get started now with question one. You should see question one on your either screens, or if you did it on your phones, on your phones. This is how much did you enjoy, or like, what did you think of the main three programs that we had last year? The Digital Fridays, the Collaborative Book Review, and the Scholar Spotlight. You could give a ranking of 1 to 5 of which ones you preferred or how much you enjoyed each one.
I'm not sure if this was answered already. If we didn't get a chance to interact with one of them, or we just, I don't want to give it a negative review or anything because I wasn't there. Do we just skip that question?
Of course, yes, you can. Okay. You can definitely skip, but also Collaborative Book Review, also like reading the Collaborative Book Reviews to me, or like what you thought of the process, definitely.
Okay. So, are we ready? Yeah, let us know when you're ready to go to the next question so we can also kind of see what's going on as you answer the questions. All right, Digital Fridays are coming strong.
Yeah. Love to see it.
All right, are we ready to go to the next question, most of you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, next question. So we see that Digital Fridays and Scholar Spotlights are more popular. So this one's generally what your suggestions are for any of the activities that we did, or even maybe activities that we could be doing, but we are not doing.
Exactly. And also because we created the Menti, of course, in case a lot of scholars would join, but a few scholars and a lot of scholars actually could not join today. Please feel free also to just comment, you know, like use the microphone, whatever is actually working for you. If you're more comfortable writing, that's fine. But if you want to actually like share some of the feedback here, because it's a very small group, we're absolutely fine like having this discussion, right? We're not short of time or anything. Maybe stuff that you would want to see.
I think like, I'm just thinking back, like last year, it did feel a bit sort of diffuse and confusing. Like there were a few things that I signed up for, like, oh, I could do the Scholar Spotlight or a Digital Friday, and I didn't hear back about them. Like I signed up to do the conference, but then like we didn't, I think a bunch of us thought we were going to do the conference, but then they were like, oh no, you didn't register, there's no more registration. It was just like a little bit sorry, really loud car. It was a little bit confusing, like what was going on when and how beyond the like initial survey to stay in the loop about stuff. So that would just be something. I might just have been like not on the right listserv or something. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Britt. I think that's something we're working on currently with Parisa to make sure that we have a strong ways of communicate, and also like strong mechanism to, you know, get in touch with your, we are also kind of gathering now your feedback, but also kind of your desires on what you would like to do. And the idea is for us to really organize and make sure that all the activities we'll do, and we'll discuss that like in a few minutes, every activity we'll do will be well accompanied, right? Because the idea is not only to participate to the activity, but also to get some skills while doing so. So yes, so we've been working on that, and all the feedback you can give us is going to be super useful to make sure that it's either communication channels that are really improved, that we have the clear guidelines, clear due dates, etc., etc. So thank you, Britt. Yes, so that's super interesting. Thank you, everyone. We're gonna, of course, like we're reading as we're going. We will take a little time also, like after this initial meeting, there's a form that we'll give you in a moment regarding future activities, but we will be in touch, and there will be, like, as we were saying, like new mechanism, and we're gonna try and reinforce, right? Not only the activities, but also the way we engage with the activities. Awesome.
Yes, exactly. And thank you so much for what you've mentioned so far. Also, I wanted to say whatever you wanted to do last year, but didn't either get to because of timing or missed connections, we definitely have this year, and we want to make the most of it. And I hope that we end up doing a Scholar Spotlight with you, Britt, and Digital Friday with I think it was Horan Haran, and yeah, all of these opportunities are still completely open to us.
Yes.
So that's another question that we were thinking of kind of putting forth as we're today kind of setting up the basic structure of what things that we're going to do. We were wondering what is your favorite format of Digital Fridays, because we have done two things so far. That maybe we have done the lightning round formats where several people, maybe 4 people, presented on a Digital Friday, very short presentations, and we've also done the a little bit of a longer presentation, which we called the short presentation, actually, ironically, which was the 25-minute presentation that maybe you are presenting further on something you did at a conference, or maybe a dissertation, which is like much further along. We could even dedicate the whole session to. So which one of those do you prefer to both do or be a part of? It would be very helpful to know. Well, so far lightning rounds have 3.
Yeah. All right. One thing also, because all the scholars are not here today, we will, of course, like be getting some feedback from other scholars from the cohort. And from this feedback, we'll try to kind of construct on the basis of these opinions, but also like on the basis of trying to innovate a bit and renew the format. And then we'll be communicating on the specific formats. We've been thinking on having like very clear collective guidelines for each activity. We now have also, as you've seen, a Gmail address that you can write to. So it's not going to be our individual emails, but this one centralized address. There's the Discord channel that is still ongoing if you want to write on Discord. So we're trying to kind of recenter communication and make it clearer. We're also trying to accompany the scholars better in terms of guidelines, but also making very explicit the skills that we're working on with each activities, because there are different kind of skill sets. And finally, we're also trying to actually have fun. So, you know, to know what you actually really enjoy doing, and you know, make sure that this is an integral part of the activities this year. All right.
Great. So I think this is our last question, was how would you improve on the collaborative book review? Do you have any specific suggestions, or maybe non-specific suggestions?
Yeah, just good ideas generally.
Yeah.
And again, if you prefer, as Britt just did, to use the microphone, please do so. This is fine. These are tools in case we were many today, but we are actually a number that allows for everyone to speak up if they want to.
So any other ideas for the collaborative book review, or you go on with the next section? No.
All right, so we'll think about it.
Or the Scholar Spotlight format. Same question again. What would you improve on it, or do you think the format is working so far?
Yes, it could also be actually like if you want to share what you really enjoyed about like one of the activities, you know, like something that you wouldn't actually change. Seemed good. Okay. Okay. And if you have questions on those activities, we'll discuss how they're probably gonna be and what they're gonna look like this year. But don't hesitate, huh? Right. Any other suggestion, answer? Oh, okay.
The scholars are not chosen. Any scholar who wants to do a scholar spotlight, it's we would be happy to work with them to help facilitate that.
Yes. Yes, so some of these activities, as you've seen, like some require a lot of coordination, such as, for instance, the collaborative book review. Some are much more spontaneous. The Scholar Spotlight is really the most spontaneous one because that's the one you actually work on mostly yourself. We accompany you. We can like help if you need help. We can help with the format, with the kind of content that is generally not necessarily expected, but that is the general content, at least, that we would like to see in a spotlight. But it's a very spontaneous format because it goes on the HASTAC Scholar page. So, you know, it's not something that requires for us to hierarchize a lot. It's really more if you're interested in this kind of activity, reach out or you mark your interest in the form that we'll give you during the meeting, and then we support you and we make sure that you have all the tools that you need. The other activities do require a little more coordination on our part.
Yeah, so that is basically what we had for the Mentimeter questions.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for those answers. So we're gonna move on to the actual part where we give you some updates on HASTAC, and I think someone actually asked for that, so specifically the websites. So Parisa, do you want to take the lead to get us through the new website?
Of course. So I'm going to give a quick intro of how we're working on the new website. There's also a longer introduction that last year the website creators gave, that we have recorded that and I've linked that in our email. I can send that around again. When I get confused, I do refer back to that, and when I forget where I'm supposed to post things. So it's a very useful, you know, a resource to get back to. But I'm just going to do a quick introduction now. So here I'm at the root of the HASTAC, in the HASTAC site and logged in, this is what the window that you see right when you log in. And in order to post, you know that you can create your own profile here, where we can, for an example, I'm gonna take you to my profile, which you can set up and fill with your information, your other social media links, and a short bio and whatever else you find helpful. So in order to post, make a post either with any of the programs that we just talked about, like the HASTAC Scholars program, even if you want to blog about your work on HASTAC, and then we can publicize it, or if you want to join the collaborative book review, Scholar Spotlight, any of these things, what you do is you scroll below to the Explore and Post section, and you see the 6 theme websites, theme websites that have been set up, and you have the ability to post on either of these themes, according to whatever you think is a better fit with the subject that you're looking at. So for example, I'm just selecting the site for educational and cultural institutions. This is set up like a very traditional blog and you see the write a post here or to discuss this topic, and write a post will get you to the page that has a very simple layout and you can use to blog or post your, make your posting. And after you make your posting, the site will be automatically updated to show your posting under latest posts. Whatever you categorize your post as will also serve as basically like a hashtag, a way to organize the posts and help link your posts with one another. People have been using the hashtag, for example, for the collaborative book review projects, where they'll use kind of the categorization of collaborative book review and then tag the post collaborative book review. Although even if you don't, we eventually do make one posting with all the collaborative book reviews and link them all in one form. So these things could also be edited after the fact, as long as we know the bare bones of this is how you post and this is how we get how we kind of get and aggregate the post. I think that is maybe the most important bit of information. Do you have any questions that I could answer about the website? There's also the in organizations or in groups, there's also the HASTAC Scholars site that you could join. And HASTAC Scholars is set up as a private group. So when you go under groups, you should be able to see this. And coming here, you might get this message, but you can request membership and we'll approve you and you'll have membership in the HASTAC Scholars site as well.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You said it's right under the organizations tab, correct?
Yes.
It shows up blank on my screen.
Engage with HASTAC, join or visit a group. I'm sorry, I was wrong to mention organizations. It's under groups.
Okay, the join or visit group.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you,
So yeah, this is our
Parisa.
short intro, basically. Of
All
course.
right. We're gonna quickly move on, and thank you for those of you who joined and have to jump off end of day. We're gonna very briefly, so we don't have much more things for today. We're just gonna discuss very briefly the activities we have planned. You will receive a recap email of the event. We just shared with you, Parisa just shared a form in the chat that will also be included in the email, but mostly it's a form for you to declare your interest regarding the different activities that we'll be leading, and this will allow us to generate communication channels specifically for each kind of activity. So we will have of course, we are relaunching our activities from last year. We are thinking about the format, and for each activity that you sign up for, you will receive, of course, support, information, communication about the dates, about the format, about the possibilities. But we have like 3 main activities that we are relaunching this year. So the Digital Fridays, which are these presentation between scholars. On Fridays, we have 2 presentations planned already for this semester. One is going to be, the first one is going to be October 20th, probably at 4 p.m. The second one is going to be December 1st, also probably at 4 p.m. These are online, and it's a great opportunity for you to share some of your work. So it can be like some of your dissertation work, it can be some of your academic interests. In any case, generally, these are extremely friendly environment for you to do a presentation online. So it's really great to work on your presentation skill set, be it like visual presentation, but also how you share the information, how you engage in a Q&A session, how you also communicate on your interests in a way that is accessible for people who might not be experts. Because the greatest thing about the scholars is that most of us come from very different backgrounds and disciplines. So it's really, it's a very formative instance of sharing on your work. The second one is the Scholar Spotlight, which I've already discussed a bit, actually. It's mostly a written presentation of your work, of your interest, on what you're doing, on your progress, that is on the HASTAC Scholar website. So it's a written exercise, but it's an excellent exercise of reflection, first of all, how to introduce yourself, how to present yourself to the academic world and also beyond the academic world, making sure that again, accessibility of your language, accessibility of your ideas is good, and it's a very spontaneous activity, right? You contact us, and we just have to plan or to support you in the writing of your introduction, and then we post it. We have the collaborative book review. So this year we have 2 books in mind, and we are asking you in the forum to suggest which one you would most be interested in. Again, this format is going to be pretty much similar to last year, but we will be taking into account the feedback that you've given us, which I think seems to be mostly about the logistics and coordination, the way we support you, the way we communicate effectively about the dates and the different moments that we have to respect. This is a very, very, very good instance for 2 reasons. This is a really great activity. One, because it allows you to work with someone, so the reading and the writing are different. Second, it's a publication. So it's not peer-reviewed, but it's still a publication you can actually use for your resume. So it's like, actually, it's really working on different kinds of skills, right? Analytical, written, and collaborative skills. But on top of it, you really get a product that you can actually showcase and that you can use as scholars. And finally, we wanted to introduce a new activity that we've been thinking about. And if you have any thoughts on that, that would be really great. So I'm going to let Parisa speak about this new activity, which is called Dialogues. Once again, if you have anything you want to ask or share about that, you have the form to mark interest. You can write emails. You can ask, of course, now. But, feel free to let us know what you think, what are your doubts or questions on all those activities.
Okay, so this new activity that we thought of is kind of taking advantage of the mutual curiosity that we have in each other's work. And the thing that to me is what makes HASTAC intriguing to be a part of is that we are doing things that are very different from each other, although and we mutually are interested in them. So the idea was that scholars would 2 scholars from different fields would interview each other about a piece of work, either that they're a piece of work that they're doing, for example, something like a conference presentation that you would maybe be interested to share, or your dissertation work at whatever stage that is, or maybe even have a conversation from their different disciplinary standpoints about a topic that is intriguing to both of them. And I think that this could be interesting because it would also kind of create room for us to get to know each other more. And this is something that I'm personally very eager to do, to get to know you and your research work. And I think this could be interesting for us to kind of make community around our work and really utilize all of these wonderful things that can happen with our with this space that we have. And so this is very much like something that we are thinking of. It's of course very new, and I feel like whoever starts doing it first will be basically shaping it. So I definitely invite the group here to definitely let's start this. I would be very eager to have that interview with any of you or have that conversation with any of you. And so in the Google form that I've posted in, that I've just put in the chat, I have also created a section for the dialogues. And what I thought of as a good first step would be to, for everybody who indicated interest, just to indicate interests and maybe possible topics that you're doing. And then I could, we would also send this list out to other HASTAC scholars who are not right now here, and they will also fill it out. And then we will create maybe an email, a mutual email with everybody who's interested, or maybe if you've all by then joined the Discord channel, maybe a Discord chat, and then chat about maybe how we want to start this. That could be another like meeting unto itself, or we could set something up later, maybe like in a week or two, to then discuss this further. But I would be very intrigued, and I would love to see if you are also interested in making this one of the things that HASTAC does.
It was kind of happening in the chat with that conference on map and art. So I think something is going to come out.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention that the 2 books that we were interested in and thought would be a good good books to take over for the collaborative book review. Now that I've heard about your research fields and the works that you're doing, I kind of feel that this is very promising. I think you might, everybody here might be interested in both Atlas of AI or the Data Feminism book. They're both very intriguing works and maybe could lead to very interesting conversations between us.
All right, so on our end, I think we have kind of introduced most of the things we wanted to discuss. But do you have questions or comments? Oh, awesome.
Great.
Any doubts or things that maybe we did not mention and that you're really eager or hoping to see happening at some points? Right. So on what's next, because we're getting to the end of our time and we want to be very mindful of that. And we also thank you for coming and joining us in this evening. We will be sending an email with kind of a recap of those discussions we had this evening. We will include the form, so please, fill the form, let us know, give us the feedback you would like to give us. So here, most of you already did, but, feel free to keep in touch if you have ideas, wishes that were kind of not yet completely mentioned. After that, we will be collecting the answers from the form, and then we will start reaching out to everyone who has registered or marked interest for certain activities. So we will kind of create subgroups, right, to be in touch, making sure that communication is the most effective, the most efficient for everyone to be very aware and understanding. Right? What are the dates? What are the tasks? What are the possibilities for all of you? I don't know, Parisa, if you want to add something.
I can't specifically think of anything now. Do you have any questions for us?
So Sheila is asking if we will come together in format like this one throughout the year, and if there's a way to connect to other scholars independently. So meeting like this, I think the next meetings that we'll have will be probably more oriented towards working on the guidelines and, the dates of the different activities. So it kind of will be subgroups. However, one really good moment to see the other scholars and be in touch with them are the Digital Fridays. So a recommendation is, even if you're not presenting, come to the Digital Fridays, because most of the time some very rich conversation happen, and it's also a really nice moment to just like see everyone's face and kind of interact, etc. The Discord channel, yes, Parisa, thank you, is another great way. And finally, I would say the HASTAC Scholars group can also be a way. So I don't know that it has been like that active so far because the website was was kind of being reshaped, etc. But we can really do what we want with it. We get to shape it at this point. So if you ever have like also suggestions, ideas about ways to interact, that we may be able to support. Sometimes it's just like sending an email saying, hey, Sheila is actually interested in creating this kind of discussion on the group. Go check it out and see if you have anything to say. And we will be very happy to support you in this case. link to the Discord channel. Do you have it at hand, Parisa? We'll include it
I have it at
again.
hand.
Awesome. We'll include it also like in the email that we send. It's in the welcome email, I think. So we'll make sure it's everywhere. Never too late to join.
It's also here.
Here we
You're
go.
joining right now.
Awesome.
We're happy to have you.
All right. Any other questions? Awesome. Then I think it's goodbye for now until you receive more emails and more information and we can start organizing all those activities together. All right, so thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Rod and Bei, also for joining and the possible tech support. Thank you for the time. Enjoy your evening and do not hesitate to be in touch.